Good morning, students. In this class, we are going to see how to rig a pendulum using FK techniques. Okay, FK rigging techniques. Previously, we have seen IK rigging techniques. We have used IK handles and rigged few models. Now we are going to use FK in the sense forward kinematics. You can visually understand the difference between IK and FK after this exercise. Previously, it was a theoretical understanding, and I hope you had a good understanding of IK. Now, we are going to rig a pendulum. We will make a simple, understandable, easy model. Okay, it is a fast model. We will do a fast model, quick model. We will give proper naming. Then we will group the similar objects in the model. Then we will create bones for those models. Then we will create controller curves. Then we will give constraints. Then we will see how far it is working fine. Okay, so to the first step, see, I'm in my modeling tab. I'm just going to create a simple pendulum model. Okay, so I'm just going to take a cylinder. This is a fast modeling or a quick modeling. Okay, I'm just going to take a cylinder like this. I'm going to take a sphere like this. I'm going to align it. Okay, so it is very simple. So again, I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to put it in the top. Come to the front view or side view or any graphic view. Okay, so again, I'm going to duplicate this both. I'm going to duplicate this both. I'm going to put it here. Yeah, I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to put it here. Yes. Okay. Now I need one more duplicate sphere. Control D to duplicate. I hope all of you know that. Okay, so that's all. And one more thing, this is the tail. We need head part, so I'm going to create a head part. Come to front view. Just going to make it easy and faster and quicker. Okay, we'll just make it as a easy model, a simple and easy model. Okay, so that's it. It is a very simple model. Using this model, we are going to rig FK rigging techniques. We are going to apply FK rigging techniques. Okay, so prior to that, I need to select all these things because these things have inputs of because these things are duplicates of the one another which is present in the same scene. So I need to select all these things, and I'm going to edit, delete by type history. I need to delete the history. Now we need to give proper naming, and so this is the head of the pendulum. This is the top part. This is the middle part, and this is the end part, and this is the tail. Okay, so we will give very easy naming. Okay, so I'm just going to give head 1, and for this thing head 2, and this is top 1, and for this one I'm going to give the name top 2. Same thing here, middle part of the pendulum, mid 1, gain, mid 2, gain, this is the end. Okay, end 1, so the tail part is end 2. Okay, so head 1, head 2, top 1, top 2, right? Okay, now we need to create bone structure. Okay, so I'm just going to come to the front view, right, and I'm going to wireframe mode. In this wireframe mode I'm going to start creating the bones. So for that I'm going to take rigging tab. Now after taking the rigging tab, here you can see the joints, create joints, just selecting the joints. See here what is the logic is, this tail should act from this place. Okay, in the sense this ball or this joint is the pivot point from where this part is giving the energy or the command. So we need separate joint for this head part and this joint, sorry, this spear. Okay, so I'm going to give, start from here, like one joint for the head. Oh my god, my joint size is so bigger, so I'm just going to reduce it. The short bone radius, it is 0.5, I can make it 0.3, it will be fine. Or let me check, yeah, still I can make it like 0.25, it will be fine for me to identify which is a bone and which is a mesh. Okay, so let me start with here. Okay, and click here. See where are all we are going to give connectivity and constraints there, and all I'm creating joints. Okay, right, click here, give enter. So the next step is giving proper naming for the joints. So for this joint I'm going to give the name head joint. Okay, so this joint I'm going to give top joint. So for here this joint I'm going to give the name mid joint, and for this joint I'm going to give the name end joint. And see this joint do not have any continuation or tail. Okay, so I'm just going to give the tip, the name is tip joint, tip joint. Okay, so even I can adjust it, press D and I can push it straight. Okay, fine, it is fine. Okay, so we have created a very simple model and we have created joint structure for this. Okay, now we are going to give proper grouping and create animation controllers, then check the influence and all these things. Okay, now we will do proper naming and grouping. Okay, so just going to close this toolbox and all these things. Just going to take the selection tool. See, the head part and the tail part is in the same color, it's in the same background color. So just to gives some visual identification. So I'm just going to going to the rendering tab, and just going to click on some material, and I'm going to apply some color. That's all. I'm going to rendering tab, clicking on some material like Lambert. Here the Lambert, here I'm going to change some color. Okay, that's all. It is simple as like that. Some visual difference we need to see. Still it is not okay. Fine. Okay. Similarly for all these spheres, I will give a different color. Same thing, I'm just going to apply some other material or the same material Lambert. I'm just going to give some different color. Okay, for this stem part, yeah, for the stem part again I'm going to shift select. Again I'm going to apply some material, and I'm going to give some other color. Okay, this may look awkward, but anyways it is a visual representation. Like, we need to differentiate our background and the elements in the scene, okay, so that it will be easy for us to identify, to select which one to animate. Okay, so that's it. Now first we need to create parent child connectivity in order to get influence for each and every different polygon mesh from the joints which we created, from the joints and bone which we created. So for that, first I'm going to group this head. Okay, head 1 and head 2. Okay, select head 1 and head 2, shift select head 1 and head 2, press Ctrl G, Ctrl plus G. Okay, you can see items grouped successfully. Okay, here in this part you can see head 1 and head 2 are grouped into one group. Now we can give the name head group. Okay, now when you select this head group and press W, you can see the pivot is somewhere else in the ground. See, that doesn't matter actually in our process, because we are going to do a different process. Like, we are not going to select this mesh part and we are not going to animate it. We are going to take the influence or the control through the animation controller, but still it is a discipline to keep the pivots and all these things in proper place, so that when we are in need of giving some other input or modification, it will be easy for us to locate the objects. Okay, so I'm just going to select the head group, the pivot is here, go to modify, and here give the option center pivot. Okay, so now I'm going to move it, but not selecting by the individual objects, selecting the group. Okay, now the other thing, this is the head group and this is the top part of the body. So I'm just going to select the top 1 and 2. I'm going to press Ctrl G, grouping, and this is top group. Oh, sorry for spelling mistake. Top group. Again, select the top group, go to modify, and give a center pivot. Okay, now you can see the pivot is in middle of this place. Okay, now the other thing is we need to select this mid part Okay, control G, give the naming mid group, and go to modify, give center pivot. Again I'm going to select this end part, and again I'm going to give control G, give the name end group. Okay, now if you see, the pivot is here. Again modify center pivot, right? Now we need to bring all these children under their appropriate parents. Okay, after that we can give proper connectivity using constraints and all these things. Okay, so this head group I'm going to bring under head joint. Okay, you can see now what I have did, select this, click middle mouse button, drag and drop. Okay, I will do it again. Select the top group, click middle mouse button, hold it, drag and drop on top joint. Similarly for the mid joint, again end group for the end joint. Okay, and the tip joint do not have any continuations or anything to influence, so there is no need or there is no possibilities to find anything for that. So let us just leave it as simple as it is. So this is one hierarchy. Now see, I need to create an empty layer, and I'm giving the name as pendulum geometry, GEO. Okay, see, hereafter we don't need to select all the mesh or skin directly, or we are not going to edit, or we are not going to give connectivity or whatever it is directly here by selecting the skin. Okay, because we have created the groups. Even if the elements in the groups are hidden or locked, the group can be accessed. Okay, so for now what am I going to do, I'm just going to add the selected objects individually into a layer and make the layer as reference layer. So for that what I'm doing, just selecting, shift select each and every one of the mesh part. Okay, I think it is selected multiple selection. Let us select properly once again. Let us go into wireframe mode, shift select. Yes, now here right click and add selected objects. Okay, now let me, it is visible. Okay, let me turn this into translate mode for T and R for reference mode. Okay, it cannot be selected directly, but once when you select the bones or the joints, it can be selected because this is the child of this bone. Just remember, this mesh is the child of this bone. Okay, so if I select top joint, the top part skin or mesh of this area is getting selected. Okay, why all these three of them are getting selected is the mid joint and the end joint are the child of top joint. So when I select top joint, automatically mid joint will get selected, end joint will get selected, and the child of the top joint, the child of the mid joint, and child of the end joint will also get selected. Okay, yes, now what else we need to do, we need to create animation controllers, then we need to create connectivity between the animation controllers and the joints and bones using constraints. Then we will do a small animation to check whether the rig is working perfect or not. Okay, So for that, the first step is to identify where we need to place our controller curves. Okay, so say for example, see, I told you right previously, see, now I made the entire model into reference mode. Now when I select the group, see, if I am selecting it individually, it is not getting selected. But when I'm selecting the group, you can see, okay, it's getting selected. So there is no unnecessary disturbance of getting the model is being selected when we are creating animation controllers and connectivity. So now we need to create animation controllers. Okay, so the controller curves. So here it was in rigging mode. Go to curves. Okay, select one of the curve. A curve has been created. Now give proper naming for the curve, or we can give it later. First we will place the curve exactly where we need it. Okay, so I need it exactly here. See, it is not necessary that you need to snap this controller curve exactly in middle of the joint. Okay, okay, it is not going to do much difference, because what an animator needs, he needs a controller curve which is exactly in the middle or in the right place of a given model, so that it will be easy for the animator to understand the influence and the rig, so that it can be easy for him to animate. Okay, so just coming here, it is fine for me. So same thing, I'm just going to do Control D, duplicate, bring it here. See, it is a easy rig what we are going to do. Do not complicate yourself. Not going to involve two tough tasks, so that I'm just going to do simple things here. Again, duplicate it. Again, Control D. Again, duplicate it. And again, one more Control D. Duplicate it. Now here we need a controller to hold the head. Okay, so this controller is for here, this place, and this is for this part, and this controller is for this part, this is for this part, and this is for this part. Sorry, this is for the end moment of the tip. Actually we don't need this, because we don't have any continuation. Okay, so let us see how far we need these controller curves. Okay, so first I'm just going to give proper naming. See, to change the background color of the workspace, the shortcut is Alt plus B. Alt plus B. Okay, now I'm going to select the controller curve. See, first we need to select all the controller curves. Go to edit, delete by type, history, go to modify and give freeze transformation. Okay, now give proper naming. Okay, so this is head control, and this is top control, this is mid control, this is end control. Okay, so since we don't have any chain from here, practically we don't need this. Okay, but still if we want this ball to rotate, we can have this. Okay, but we don't need this as of now. Okay, so we can delete it, or I don't want to delete it, I will just pull it down. Okay, make it to the ground position, and again I'm going to give freeze transform. I'm going to keep it as the master control. Okay, master control. See, this is how we need to study a model so that we can create animation controllers. See, now we have gone through the model, we studied the working mechanism of the model, and we found that there is no controller curve needed for this part of the model. So we have removed it. Okay, so this is how a rigger need to study any model. Okay, note down all the possible working mechanisms, then you should create animation controllers or controller curves, connectivity, and all these things. Okay, so now see, it is done. Now another thing is, all the controller curves are in same design. Okay, I told previously, it is like we need to maintain a different design language, design pattern, different design pattern or style. To say in simple words, similar working mechanisms can be in similar design. Okay, so these are all the tail part of this head. Okay, top tail, mid tail, end tail, let the all three be in same shape. We will change the shape of the master control. So for that, I'm going to select the curve, go to control vertex. Okay, so here I'm going to select, shift select the alternate vertices. I'm going to simply change the shape. It is very simple. I'm going to do a simple modification, that's all. Okay, now I'm going to object mode, I'm going to increase the size. Right, this is the master control. Okay, now under master control we need to bring all the other controls. So before that, we need to change the shape of the head control. Okay, so again I'm going to select the head control, go to control vertex mode. Here again I'm going to select the alternate vertices. See, it is not compulsory that you need to select alternate vertices and do a design like this. You can bring any shape whichever you want, but here I am doing whatever the thing is. It is very simple method of creating a rig. Okay, the method is very simple. Okay, right, so the design of all these controller curves are different. Head control is different, tail controls are different, master control is different. Okay, so after giving the modification, again the position and the scaling has been changed. So again selecting the both, go to modify, and I'm giving freeze transformation. Okay, right, now we have finished creating controller curves. So another one thing is to put which controller curve under which thing. Okay, so under master control, you should put the head control under master control, and top control under head control, and mid control under top control, end control under mid control. Okay, so if I select master control, all the controller curves should be getting selected. Head control, top, mid, and end. See, now the hierarchy is perfect. All these controller curves are getting selected perfectly, right? Okay, what else is pending? We have created a simple model, given proper naming. We have grouped the polygon objects according to their working mechanism. We have given created bone structure. We have given proper naming for the bone structure. We have given parent-child connectivity for the mesh and the bones. We have given controller curves. Now we need to give constraints. Okay, so let us see the logic. If this is the head, I need to select this head and take and move. and I need to rotate it. Okay, so what are all the actions I need? Movement for the translate and rotation we need. So translate and rotate. So translate and rotate is given by which constraint? Parent constraint. Point constraint is only for translation, orient is only for rotation. So you know very well it is parent constraint. So I'm going to select the top control, shift select the top joint, okay, I mean the head control, shift select the, here when I'm selecting in the outliner I'm selecting the using the control select the head joint, go to constraint, open parent constraint, check for maintain offset. If not, you are not clear, give reset. Okay, reset settings, check for maintain offset, give apply. Okay, you can see constraint has been created. Okay, close it. Again, I'm just going to select this top control, select the top joint. Okay, let me switch into wireframe mode. This is the top joint which is present here. Okay, so I'm going to select this top control, select the top joint here. See here what is the logic I need. Here I don't want to, there is no need for me to move it because this is the tail of this head. So here I need only rotation. Okay, so I need to give only a constraint which is giving rotation option. So for that, orient constraint will help me in applying rotation. Okay, so select this constraint, go to wireframe mode, shift select this joint, or you can select this constraint, come to outliner and control select this joint, top control, shift select a top joint, go to constraint, orient constraint, maintain offset, apply. You can see constraint has been created, close. Again the same constraint we need to give here. Select the mid control, shift select the mid joint, go to constraint here, no, orient constraint, apply it. Again select the end control, shift select the end joint, apply orient constraint and close it. Okay, so let us check how it works, or it works or not, what are all the errors we are going to face and all these things. See, in the first attempt itself there is no way to get success unless until if you are master in any art. So let us check it is working or not. So now my need for this head controllers, I want to move the entire model and I want to rotate it. Okay, so it is moving fine. Again I'm selecting this, I'm going to select rotate. Yes, it is rotating fine. Control Z back position. Okay, I'm selecting this thing. For this thing I don't need translation, so translation is a unnecessary attribute. So here I need to hide the translate. Okay, let us do it later. Now let us check our constraint. Okay, rotation, yes, this is working fine, rotation is working fine, here the rotation is working fine, here the rotation is working fine. Good. Now let us select each and every one of the controller curves and lock and hide the unnecessary attributes which is not practically applicable for this particular rig. First we'll start with the head control. we need translate and rotate. So scaling and visibility, all these things we don't need. So right click, lock and hide selected. Again come here, we don't need translate. So lock and hide selected, scaling and visibility, lock and hide selected. So similar thing we need to do for both these things. So I'm selecting both these things separately, individually. By first I'm selecting this, then shift select this control. Now I'm going to translate, lock, unlock selected. What is this? Yes, here lock and hide selected. Again scale and visibility, lock and hide selected. That's all. When we check, we need what? Rotation. So rotation is available here. So what here? Translation is available here. Okay, so for this master control, it is going to help us as a master which is bringing the entire rig into the scene. Okay, when we are importing a reference, we are going to use this master control. So it is helpful in all the way. Okay, but you can see what is happening when I'm scaling. All the controller curves and the model, the mesh is getting displaced. Okay, so how to overcome this problem? It is very simple. Under master control, bring this head joint. Okay, because the head joint is collaborating with the skin and the skin groups, okay, as well as the constraints. So bring everything under the master control. So select the head joint, click middle mouse button, drag it and put it on top of master control. Now you can see under master control all the controller curves are there. Under that head joint is there, top joint, mid group, end joint, okay, and all the mesh groups and the constraints. So this is the perfect hierarchy what we need to create. Now let us select this and let us check the scaling. You can see the scaling is happening gradually for all the skin and controller curves. There is no displacement or misplacement of any controller curves or skin or joints. Okay, so this is how we are going to we rigged a simple pendulum, and this is the forward kinematics technique which I told you, which I have explained you using a human model. I hope all of you have remembered the human hand. When we switch into FK control from IK control, the controller curves will be like this. Okay, so once when I select this and rotate, all the other child will follow. Okay, so I hope all of you have understand this. Okay, so let us check with a small animation how it works, uh, so that it will be easy for us to understand. You can also use this model in your animation class. Okay, see, don't forget to save your file. Just to save your file, I'm just going to save it in my desktop. Pendulum, that's all. Simple name, pendulum. Okay, so let me try to make a small animation. So for that I'm going to turn on the auto key, go to animation preferences, play every frame, change into 24 frames per second, then go to undo, change the undo into infinite and save it. Now I'm going to select the stop U key in the first frame, press S to set key in the first frame. Again I'm going to some 100th frame, press yes. Now I'm going to select this, come to front view, The first frame I'm going to keep it here. The 100th frame I'm going to keep it here. Okay, so after giving the set key, let us check. It is moving slowly, the animation is slow. Yes, it is happening. Okay, now let me reduce the time. It is 100 frames. Keep it 50 frames. In this 50 frames, again I need to select all these animation controllers. I should key in the first frame. I should key in the 50th frame. Again I should key first letter. Let me change it. Change the pose in the 50th frame. Okay, so now the head of the pendulum stops again, then it should come down. So it should come down like this, again come down like this, come down like this, again come down like this, come down like this, then settle slowly. Make it 0. Let us check now. Okay, fine. The pendulum animation is fine. Our pendulum rig is working fine. Okay, and you have successfully rigged the pendulum. Come to the front view. Let us check once again. Play the animation. This part is slow, I think. So let me select the tail. This frame should come a little bit earlier. Okay, so let us check. No, it is not natural. Okay, this itself is natural. Okay. And I think this pose is too much in the air because the head is not too fast. So let me reduce it. So I think again I can reduce it here. Okay, anyways guys, this is a good rig and you have done a good job. Okay, this is how FK works, and I hope all of you have understood this hierarchy and all these working mechanisms and models, right? Thank you.